are you doing today? This is Kimmie Diamond, and you here with Music Link with Kimmie Diamond. Content brought to you by Music Arena. Yay! So, we finna get started. So, grab your popcorn, if you have some fries or whatever, breakfast, brunch, whatever, so you can enjoy the content that we have going on here. So, the first segment we finna start is bar time. Now, bar time is a segment that we do to break down bars from latest singles from artists. So first, we got to start by with Super by Corday. Yes, Corday. Um, he's coming back. He's coming back. Yay! And I love the artwork. It's very, very dope. I love it. It's very creative. So the first bar that we have here is that this is real life. This is real life. Ain't no acting it. All these rap ninjas, they be Brad Pitting. Now, disclaimer, we do have to clean up the lyrics. I do love this paradox here. I do love this paradox. And this song is basically him talking about like his real life experiences, and also shouting out other artists and everybody in the same culture as him that is doing it. So it's more like, yeah, I'm showing love, and at the end of the day, I have to make sure that I reward myself as well. So it's like a rewarding track, and I like that. But I do like this bar here, and we all know that Brad Pitt is an actor, so yeah, but you like this is reality here. So that's what that bar meant. And then the second one is Ninjas asking why I dropped the YBN. I had no other choice. We ain't on that ish. You know that janky ish. I'm not condoning it. Um so y'all know that he was a part of the collective YBN, and that during that whole process, it was a lot of, like he said, jankiness going on with management, and people who was in that collective, the artists was very unhappy with the management, and they don't really like own it, so they didn't feel, especially Corday, he speaking for himself, he didn't feel the need to carry along with that YBN on his name because he felt like he can't get any benefit from it because it's not like he doesn't own it. So he was just explaining that, yeah, back then, yeah, we was around that time. Yeah, so I'm glad that he acknowledged that. Now, the music video for this single, I don't know if it's going to be out. I don't know if there's visuals involved with this single, but hopefully it is. That's some nice artwork, bro. But yeah, so yeah, I had to say that. So, secondly, the second single we finna talk about is Thought I Was Gonna Stop by Papoose featuring Lil Wayne, produced by Timbaland. Yeah, we talked about Timbaland previously on this channel. Now, dope artwork. I do love the artwork. It's very dope here. And Papoose, he's one of my favorite MCs, of course. You know what I'm saying? A veteran, as you would say. So, so yeah. So first, we're gonna start with while y'all was on Clubhouse, I was in the dugout waiting to get up to the bat and knock a home run out. Oh golly, this was the first bar. This was the first bar here. This is one of those tracks where I'm just spitting. So yeah, we all know what Clubhouse is. And yeah, so he's just basically saying, like, yeah, I'm putting that work in. I'm going from base to base to base. I'm not sitting here just talking and just doing nothing. I'm actually putting the work in. So that's what that bar is right there. I like it. And secondly, I give you a bloodbath, and then I let the blood out, put the stopper out of the bottom and the drain the tub out. I do like that. That was a nice hyperbole there. A very nice hyperbole. And I'm like, okay, all right, Papoose. And yeah, so I really do like that one. It was very creative. And it's very creative. I really do like it. And we all know that Papoose, when it comes to these bars, he is not like, he's not half-assing it. He's giving it a whole 100%, especially like with the alphabet slaughter. I think that's what it's called. It's very creative here. And this was like the first verse. He kicked it off very well, and I really, really do like that. So again, shout out to Papoose, shout out to Lil Wayne, Timbaland, Corday. Keep on doing your thing. Now for the single for this, I don't know if there's visuals for it yet. Hopefully it is, because this is the single that is coming out from his new project September. So hopefully we get visuals for that. So yeah, that is it for bar time. Now the second segment we're finna get into is flowers. Okay, now flowers is a concept of segment that we do to give either rappers or producers, anybody who contribute to the hip hop culture, their flowers, who've been doing this for a long time, so that they don't feel unappreciated or underappreciated. Bow Wizzle, Bow Wow. Yes, we giving flowers to Bow Wow. Okay, we giving flowers to Bow Wow. Okay, he started off with with the child rap, the one of the first people to do it. Okay, now this was around my time. Okay, I grew up on Bow Wow, literally. Okay, so this right here, of course, is gonna be a walk in the park for me. Okay, I was born in '98, so of course. So yeah, of course he's a rapper, actor, and television presenter. He's been doing this for a long time. He's been doing this since 3. He was acknowledged by Snoop Dogg. That's how he got his name, Lil Bow Wow. That's how he started off, as Lil Bow Wow. So he was acknowledged by Snoop Dogg, and he was supposed to be on death row. Now that is a fact, and you do see a cameo of Bow Wow on Snoop Dogg's video "Gin and Juice." I was just watching that video yesterday, so yeah. But I guess something went wrong, and Jermaine Dupri met him in 1998, and eventually he got on So Def. So yeah, but he still have a relationship with Snoop to this day, so that's a good thing. So his debut album, Beware of Dog, okay, 2000, that came out in 2000 when he was just 13, and this really cemented his name into hip hop, being one of the youngest who did it. And the singles that came out from that album was Bounce With Me, Ghetto Girls, Puppy Love, Bow Wow, That's My Name. My favorite is Ghetto Girls. That's will always be my favorite song off that album. And of course, the labels that is involved with that project is So Def and Columbia Records. So yeah, this was his first album, and of course it went platinum. And having his audience from kids to adults, right? From kids to adults, everybody loved Bow Wow. All right, he was on commercials and everything, and he was getting features too. Like, he was the young ones who did it. I'm pretty sure when y'all watch, him and Soulja Boy and listening to his past singles, y'all was very surprised on how many singles he was on and how many features that he had. So yeah, so in 2002, Doggy Bag came out. That's his second album that he did. And Like Mike. Now, Like Mike is like one of my favorite movies that I remember to this day. And that was when he was starting to rise off top. I'm pretty sure that was his acting debut. And yeah, it did great. It did great. And of course, from that soundtrack of that movie, he did the song called Basketball, featuring various artists on there. So so yeah, during that year 2002, he dropped Little from Bow Wow because he was getting older, and he felt like Little is just not like helping out with his name, I guess, like pushing him to the right direction. So he felt like he should drop Little from out his name, and he just became Bow Wow, which makes sense because you can't be little for a long time. You know what I mean? You can be only so little for a long time. But yeah, so, and then later on, he did more albums. Unleashed came out, and then Wanted, and then Price of Fame. I could go on. And then that joint album that he did with Omarion, Face Off, which is my favorite. And also, you know, we all know Omarion from B2K. Y'all saw B2K, you know, little cameo in the beginning of Ghetto Girls music video. I'm getting old. But yeah, so yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that time. Now, he did many film and TV appearances. So he did Moesha, he did the Steve Harvey show, he did Roll Bounce. Now, I gotta say, this was around the time when it comes to television appearances, where when artists come, like making appearances on TV shows, it's like a real big thing, right? It's a real big thing, and it definitely helped the artists to get like more attraction to fans and stuff like that. But this was around the time where like getting a TV appearance from like an artist was a huge thing. And then, you know, Roll Bounce again is one of my favorite movies, one of the well-known skating movies. Uh, and the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, Hurricane Season, and Entourage. And he was on many TV shows, but that's just the highlights, but on many TV shows. And in 2013, he hosted BET's 106 in Park until it was off air. Now, he always called himself Mr. 106 in Park. So when that news broke out, I'm like, okay, this makes sense, because he always called himself, you know, Mr. 106 in Park. I am old talking about 106 in Park. Remember that? Oh my goodness, I'm getting so old. And as of lately, you know, he been doing partnerships with Ciroc, and also he has his own do-rag line made by Kiss. Yes, the group Kiss, you know, called Bow Wow X Power Wave Lux Design. And he is everywhere, from the barbershops, from the beauty supply stores. Hey, that's good money. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing wrong with that. But but yeah, I have to say personally, Bow Wow is like one of my favorites, just all around favorites, you know. And I remember the time where it was like, when it comes to us girls, it's like, what do you want to be? You want to, you know, you with little Bow Wow or you with little Romeo? I do remember that time. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that was like a good time to be a kid, you know. But yeah, I do remember that. And he used to have bobbleheads, I think. But Bow Wow did a whole lot. He's definitely a veteran, especially how young he is now. To be considered as a veteran is a very huge deal. It's a very huge thing. You know what I mean? And I definitely believe that he needs to be acknowledged for his work and everything that he did over the years. You know, he definitely should be mentioned when it comes to the hip hop culture, especially being as young as he was, rapping at 3. You know what I mean? That's, you know, to some people that's unheard of. You know what I mean? Like, that's impossible. You just start talking and now you rapping. But yeah, he definitely is a pioneer in my book. So shout out to Bow Wizzle, Bow Weezy. Keep on doing your thug thizzle. And and yeah, so next thing we finna get into is biz after music. Now, this is a segment that we do when it comes to rap artists, like ventures that they doing in the business, whether it's investing or endorsing, anything that's business involved. So we finna start off with Nas. Now, this is a good thing here. Nas is into a hip hop masterclass. Yeah, a hip hop masterclass with Nas, and he's basically breaking down storytelling. I'm like, wow, this is a huge thing, because we all know that Nas, when it comes to like storytelling, conscious rap and stuff like that, that is Nas's lane. So for him to do a hip hop masterclass is a very huge deal. And if you a rapper who is like struggling trying to like rap and find your niche and stuff like that, I really think that you should consider taking this class and getting it from the vet himself. Man, this is just amazing, you know. So I really do like this. And he's doing a 12-part video series on, you know, storytelling, from breaking it down, you know, like the concepts and stuff like that of storytelling, to advance storytelling in your rhymes. And I definitely do like that. And this is definitely a good move that he should do. And yeah, he quoted saying that it's all about giving what you need in chapters, increments, and giving you the vibe. And he said that to Complex. And again, this is a very good thing that he's doing, because I mean, it's only so many artists, especially in this generation, that's into storytelling. So again, shout out to Nas. That is a good thing. That is a good thing. So kudos to him. And we finna go to Jay-Z. Jay-Z is buying Coastal Dispensary. This Dispensary. I hope I said that right. But yeah, so he is into the cannabis business. Okay, he's in the cannabis business, and his holding company is willing to have full access to Coastal Holdings Company LLC, and we talking about 16.2 million in cash and 40 millions, $4 million, including the dispensary location in California. So this is a very like huge thing. You're talking about like equity here. And we all know that Jay-Z is that businessman, always been a hustler ever since we know his name. So I'm not surprised by this. You know what I mean? One thing about Jay-Z that you can learn from is that do not put all your eggs into one basket. And that's definitely is, that's the epitome of Jay-Z. That's definitely what he's teaching us here after all these years, from labels, from clothes, alcohol, like you name it. And Jay-Z, of course, put his 2 cents in there and made a whole bunch out of it, double that 2 cents. So yeah, so again, shout out to Jay-Z, shout out to Nas. Very good moves that they doing there. So yeah, we finna get to compare and contrast. Compare and contrast is a segment that we do from either an artist or a producer, or anybody in the hip hop culture who has similarities, yet they are different. They have their own lane going on. So yeah, Jermaine Dupri and Dr. Dre. Yeah, Jermaine Dupri and Dr. Dre. That's what we're doing here. Now, people like, oh, well, what about Diddy? No, let me tell you something. These two, when it comes to similarities, you're going to find out. But yet they are very different, okay? So both of these producers was involved in building labels, okay? If it wasn't for them, some of these labels that I'm going to mention would not exist. Okay, so Jermaine Dupri owned So Def, and then Dr. Dre co-owned and co-found Death Row Records. And then later on in the years, he started owning his own label, Aftermath. Okay, and we all know Aftermath due to Eminem and 50 Cent. So yeah, and also they both produced for R&B artists, as you believe. So, and then they both use samples in their music production. They do. They both use samples in their music production. If you really listen closely, especially with Jermaine Dupri's music production, you can tell that certain things are sampled. Now, let's get to the contrast part. Now, when it comes to Dr. Dre, of course, he came out a little bit earlier than Jermaine Dupri. He came out in the 80s with NWA. He was the primary producer for NWA and Death Row Records. Of course, when you listen to Death Row, of course, they have production made by Dr. Dre. So that ain't no surprise. So his well-known music production, all right, this is outside from NWA and Death Row Records. Since I already said that he's the primary producer, ain't no need to go down that catalog. That's a long catalog. I'm gonna go outside of that. So Let Me Blow Your Mind by Eve featuring Gwen Stefani. This was one of Eve's biggest hits. Till this day, it still plays on the radio. It still is in commercials, ads. It's like at this point, I'm pretty sure you heard that song before. And Break Your Neck by Busta Rhymes, one of my favorite Busta Rhymes hits. Okay, yeah, this was when Busta still had, the dreadlocks, and We in the Club by 50 Cent, one of his biggest hits ever. Like, I was surprised that this just only went gold. I'm like, what? In the beginning, I'm pretty sure it's platinum now. But yeah, this is one of 50's biggest hits ever. You hear this at the birthday parties, the functions, advertisements, commercials, ads, you name it, you heard this song. This song was like, I'm pretty sure everybody's go-to. And out of Control by 50 Cent and featuring Mom D. His production sound. Now, when it comes to Dr. Dre, he loves to use the kick, bass, of course, the piano riff, and snare and sniff. Now, it makes sense because Still Dre, that song by Dr. Dre, the piano was like the primary like instrument on that song. So I'm not surprised. Like, go back and listen to like Dr. Dre's and go back to his catalog. There's a piano in there somewhere. Which I ain't gonna lie, piano is a nice instrument that you can use, and it doesn't matter what genre it is. It's amazing. Now, when it comes to Jermaine Dupri, you see, Jermaine Dupri has more of an R&B catalog than Dr. Dre. He produced for Mariah Carey, Janet. Now, Mariah Carey, I mean, to produce for Mariah Carey, that's a huge deal, okay? And of course, he is the primary producer for So Def. So we finna get into that. So his well-known music productions here is Funkified. So yeah, by the Brat. Yeah. Now a lot of people know the Brat due to this song, and this is like everybody's favorite song by the Brat. Jump by Criss Cross. I'm the miggity Mac Daddy. Yeah, you thought I can't do that? So yeah, by Jump by Criss Cross and Grills by Nelly. Now everybody sing Grills to this day, and this was around when people was just like having platinums on their teeth, gold on their teeth. This was around that time. So yeah, and I think they like me. Hey, the So Def remix, okay, by the Franchise Boy featuring Da Brat and Bow Wow. And yeah, Bow Wow played this while he was doing his segment with Soldier Boy. So yeah. So he produced for artists, he wrote songs for artists, which is one thing that he got up when it comes to Dr. Dre. He got one up on is that he wrote singles for other artists. And I'm like, yeah, he did, and that's just amazing. So he's just an all around, just a music shell. When it comes to Jermaine Dupri, he's an all around music shell. And yeah, his production sounds, he used 808 for the kick, a drum kit, an MPC for sampling, and as a bass line. So yeah, again, shout out to Jermaine Dupri and Dr. Dre. If it was not for them, you wouldn't get no Death Row hits, and you wouldn't get no So Def hits, and just plethora of artists, catalog, So again, shout out to them. They created that sound. Now we're gonna get to the last segment, okay, called Returning to the Capsule. This is when we're gonna go back to the hip hop catalog, and we're gonna talk about art albums that was like around that time, whether it's in the 2000s, 90s, we just going to reflect on it. So first, we're going to talk about the Black Album by Jay-Z, okay? One of my favorite Jay-Z albums, okay? This is my favorite, all right? This is my absolute favorite. I was just listening to this the other day. Now, this was released on November 14th, 2003. Singles from this album: Change Clothes. Hey! Yeah, Change Clothes by Jay-Z featuring Pharrell. And Get That Dirt Off Your Shoulders. Yeah, produced by Timbaland, okay? And I Got 99 Problems, but ain't one. Hey! Okay. Oh my goodness. I was just listening to this like the other day. Now, this was certified platinum, okay? This was certified platinum. Hopefully one day this become diamond. Now, I got to say, this album, you get a lot of in my opinion, you get a lot of memorable hits from Jay-Z. I swear, this album, Encore's on there. What more can I say? Like, it's a lot of memorable hits on this album. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of people love Reasonable Doubt and In My Lifetime, Volume 2, and you know what I mean? But this right here was that there. Okay. It peaked #1 on top rap albums, US top R&B hip hop albums, and US Billboard 200. It's all Billboard charts. Now, if you was around that time, you would know that this was Jay-Z's last album. This is when he said that he was going to retire. And then next thing you know, he comes back with Kingdom Come, I believe. You know what I mean? But this was around that time where he claimed that this was his last album, So yeah, we was around that time. But yeah, this was one of my favorite albums by Hove. Okay, so second album we're finna get into Speaker Box and The Love Below by Outkast. Okay, this album right here really was their commercial success right here. We're finna get into it. Why? Now, this was released in September 23rd, 2003. Hits from this album. Hey, y'all, this was played in movies, you name it, commercials. Still to this day, I still hear Hey, y'all. Okay? The Way You Move featuring Sleepy Brown. Hey, baby. You hear this at every black functions, all that. Roses, ghetto music / prototype, okay? Now, this was a blend of funk, pop, and jazz, okay? And this was a double disc, mind you. This had 39 tracks in there. Yes, 39 tracks. They could have made it to 40, but nah, we going through 39. So yeah, and this peaked at #1 US top R&B hip hop albums, US Billboard 200, and this is certified 11 times platinum. They finna get diamond out of this. And Hey Y'all had a lot of awards. Like every single that's on this album had a lot of awards and accolades behind it. Like it was crazy. But yeah, this is like one of their big commercial success ever. Like many memorable moments on this one. Now, we're finna get to the last one. Restless by Exhibit. Okay. So this was released on December 12th, 2000. Yeah. And the singles from this is X, Front to Back, and Get Your Walk On. Okay. And this is peaked at #1 on US top R&B and hip hop albums on Billboard. This was certified platinum. Okay. Get Your Walk On is my favorite. Okay. And nice West Coast album. You know what I mean? Shout out to Exhibit, shout out to Outkast, shout out to Jay-Z. Okay. Now, what do you like about this? Okay, so tell us what you like from Bar Time. What's your favorite Bow Wow album or movie? What's your favorite Jermaine Dupri and Dr. Dre type of song or album that they was involved in? And what is your favorite Return to the Capsule album that I just mentioned? You know what I mean? Like, did you love the Black Album? Did you love Speaker Box and The Love Below? Do you remember Restless? Do you like Restless? And just let me know what your thoughts are. And this has been Kimmie Diamond with Music Link. Music Link with Kimmie Diamond. Content brought to you by Music Arena. And I hope y'all guys enjoyed this episode. So, peace out. Hello, how you doing? It's me, Kimmie Diamond, a Music Link with Kimmie Diamond. How you doing? Welcome. Content brought to you by Music Arena. So get y'all popcorn ready, get y'all drinks or whatever, because this is going to be a good episode that we have here. Okay, now we are going to start it off, kick it off with the segment called Bar Time. Okay, this is where we get into bars that's said by artists, nice bars where we dissect it a little bit. And for a disclaimer, yes, we have to clean up the lyrics, okay? Because I don't know if kids are around you, you know what I mean? So, all right, we keeping it PG or PG-13. So this is a throwback edition where we going way back and just reminiscing about the songs that were released that were hot. So we finna go back to Swagger Like Us by Jay-Z, T.I. featuring Kanye West and Lil Wayne. This is one of my favorite tracks. And also this track is on T.I.'s album Paper Trail. Okay. Now, this is one of my favorite songs, okay? And it's still hot to this day. We finna start off with, hey, I know I got it first. I'm Christopher Columbus. Y'all just the pilgrims. Thanksgiving, do we even got a question? Hermes, pastel, I passed the dressing. Oh, yeah. So I like this bar right here. Kanye West did his thing on this bar right here. We all know back then, with Christopher Columbus and the Pilgrims, that history. And this is a good simile and double entendre by Kanye West. Hermes pastel, I passed the dressing. And that dressing kind of resonates with the Thanksgiving word that he said in that bar. So I definitely did like this bar. He really did his thing on this one. And next, I'm gonna go with, but I can't teach you my swag. You can pay for school, but you can't buy class. School of Hard Knocks, I'm a grad, and that all blue Yankee is my graduation cap. Yeah, okay. So we all know that Jay-Z is one of the kings of metaphors here. So this is a good metaphor here. All right. So yeah, you could pay for school, you can't buy class. We all heard that quote before. And when it comes to Jay-Z, he all know about that hard knock life. That's all he know about. And basically, he is resonating with the whole like school edition of life to the streets. So this is basically saying I have enough street smarts and I'm a graduate from the streets. So this is basically what that bar is. And I like that. Okay. And next, Gangsta-ish Hereditary, got it from my dad, flow colder than February with extraordinary swag. Okay. So that is the last bar that T.I. said on this song. Basically what he's saying is that, like the gangster stuff is in me. It runs in the family. It's genetics. I can't do nothing about that. So this is just what it is. So just know that this is expected. And flow colder than February. We all know that February is the last month of winter. So I like how he did that. Again, this is a nice lyrical song by all of these four artists that's on that song. And it's definitely a memorable time in hip hop, which was released in 2008. And I am getting old. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so next song we got is 6 Foot 7 Foot by Lil Wayne featuring Corey Guns. We like this song right here is very memorable. Okay, along with A Millie. This is Lil Wayne's biggest song yet. So we're finna start off with the bar. Life is a bee and death is a sister. Sleep is the cousin. What a family picture. Father Time. We all know Mother Nature. It's all in the family, but I am of no relation. Now, if you watch All in the Family, he is basically saying that in the bar. All in the Family is a TV show as well. I do love this metaphor. This is a good metaphor by Lil Wayne. And Father Time, Mother Nature, I just like this bar right here. It's a nice metaphor. And Lil Wayne is known for metaphors and just putting things together in his own unique way. And then next we have Talking to Myself Because I Am My Own Consultant. Married to the Money, F the World, that's adultery. Nice pun that he did there with that one. And basically what he's saying is that, you know, I don't trust anybody. I don't put my trust in anybody. I rather listen to myself because I have my own best interest within myself. Okay. Forget everybody. And, you know, I'm married to the money, and we all know that, you know, he is the CEO and founder of Young Money. So he's putting that in there. And, you know, after world, that's adultery. You know, like forget, but I'm gonna still rock with you. But it's adultery at the end of the day. So I like that part that he did. And next one, I'll be macking about my stacking. Now I pack like a mover. Shout to Ratchet for backing out on behalf of my shooter. Now, Corey Guns, I have to say, is an underrated rapper. Okay. This one right here was hard. Okay, it's hard. I love the personification that he's doing right here. Because we all know the Ratchet is, you know, it's the blicky, you know what I mean? No, just playing. But a Ratchet, you know, is a gun and, you know, backing out on behalf of my shoe. I do like this. Like this one right here was too smooth with it, you know, along with the flow that he applied to this bar right here. It's just amazing. This was a very memorable track. This was a very memorable track. And again, I'm getting old. I was in middle school when he dropped this. So of course I remember it down to the T. So yeah, we finna wrap up bar time. Again, shout out to Jay-Z, T.I., Kanye, Lil Wayne, and Corey Guns. Keep doing y'all thing. And yeah, so that's that. That's it for bar time. Now we finna go into the next segment. The next segment is Flowers, where we giving artists, producers, anybody who contributed to the hip hop culture their flowers. So we making sure that they are appreciated, right? We don't want them to feel unappreciated or underappreciated. Master P. Gotta give flowers to him, man. Definitely a pioneer of hip hop. You know, he definitely opened doors for like a lot of ideas. He is definitely the epitome of not selling yourself short. Now, we all know that he is a rapper, record producer, actor, entrepreneur, philanthropist, investor, and of course, a former basketball player. He reached so many heights within his life. It's just amazing to see how many things that Master P has accomplished. Okay. Now, we all know that he's the founder and the CEO of No Limit Records. He put a lot of people on, from Mia X, Mystical, helped Snoop Dogg out, Serve On, Fiend. I could go on, man. And of course, he put his family on, you know, Murder C, C Murder. I'm sorry, C Murder, Slick the Shaka, and of course his son Romeo Miller. Like we could just go on. Like the catalog just goes on. He of course he did you know, No Limit Films, and there is no limit comedy and no limit sports. Like what I love about Master P is that he made sure that things are not at a limit. He will go past the moon, the sky, or whatever. Like literally no limit. He definitely proved that point. It's definitely a point, a statement that has been proven along without the years. He invested in a lot. He invested in a travel agency, a Foot Locker retail outlet, real estate, stocks, film, music, clothing, like you name it. Master P, of course, put his couple of cents in there. You know what I mean? So I just find that very amazing. And I feel like a lot of people, especially in this generation, can learn a lot from Master P. You know what I mean? He did a lot for the culture, period. Not just only in hip hop culture, but of course, you know, he's from New Orleans. He gave back to his people back there. And, you know, it's just amazing. And you can get a lot of gems and a lot of game from Master P. Just watch his interviews. Watch his interviews. He's like one of those teachers, like a teacher that does not have a certificate but can teach you something. Like that's Master P. And Master P, again, he is a pioneer, and you know, just give his flowers to him. This is very amazing. He's done a plethora of things, which is crazy. It's a long list to name, But again, shout out to Master P. Okay, so you are acknowledged. Now we finna go to biz after music. This is where we talk about, you know, artists, producers, anybody in the hip hop culture going beyond music, whether it's investing, endorsements, deals, all of that. So it's beyond music at this point. Okay, we talking about Master P again. Okay, Master P is partnering with Launch Tennessee, partners up with them so that he is involved with hosting events to instill and teach Nashville business owners who are aspired to run their own business, which I think is cool. And Launch TN built a nation around startup businesses. Now, of course, this is down Master P's alley. He get it. He understand. He even quoted that Tennessee is like a second home to him. So that is very cool to help out, the community, help out with young entrepreneurs who want to get a head start in the business. And, you're going to learn from the best, okay? You're going to learn from the best, okay? He had a lot of successes throughout the year. So, why not, get some game from Master P, okay? And then next we have Megan Thee Stallion inks a deal with Popeyes, okay? Now, the Houston Stallion, okay? She has established a development deal with Popeyes, and she is also the newest franchise owner. This is very big because we all know that Popeyes is one of the biggest food chains ever. And also she have her own hottie sauce. This also is included with the deal, along with some merchandise items, which I find very, very, very cool. That is very interesting. And both Popeyes and Megan Thee Stallion will make a 6-figure donation to Houston Random Acts of Kindness Foundation, a nonprofit, which is very good. And of course, Megan Thee Stallion is definitely doing her thing here, and it's very good to have some type of business deal, whether it's from food to clothes, makeup. You know what I mean? Because you can't put all your eggs into one basket. So it's very nice to see, Megan doing her thing, you know what I mean? And it's very nice to see that Master P is giving game to the young kids. So that is a nice thing. That's a good thing. Now we finna go to compare and contrast. Okay, this is a segment where we talk about either producers or artists who is similar, who gets compared to a lot, yet they are different in their own unique way. Now, this is a duo edition. This is a new edition. Okay, this is a duo. Okay, a producer and an artist. Okay, so Swiss Beats and Eve versus Jermaine Dupri and Da Brat. Got it? Swiss Beats and Eve versus Jermaine Dupri and Da Brat. Okay, so these two duos right here is very memorable. Started in the 90s, you know what I mean? Can't go wrong with it, you know what I mean? So one thing about these two, Jermaine Dupri and Swiss Beats, they help build up labels, Rough Riders and So Def. Okay, it wouldn't be no Rough Riders without Swiss Beats. It will sound very different, and it wouldn't be no So Def without Jermaine Dupri. Okay, that's proven. And both of these producers are involved with the artist's first projects. On Eve's first project, Swiss Beats, the production credits, he's all over that thing. And of course, on Da Brat's first album, Jermaine produced the whole entire album. Okay. And again, like I said, they're both pioneers from the 90s. And Eve and Da Brat's, both of their music is evolved around women empowerment. It's evolved around women empowerment, standing up for yourself. You can do better. You know what I mean? You don't have to limit yourself for anything or anybody. You know what I mean? Just breaking the barriers of the concept of being a woman, you know what I mean? Or a traditional woman, as you say. So it's like, hey, I'm going to be different regardless. I'm going to be me. That's what the Eve and Da Brat gave, you know what I'm saying? And of course, Eve and the Brat write their own songs. This was back in the times in hip hop to where you have to come with it, to where if you have a ghostwriter, 9 times out of 10, you won't get that much credit and respect like that in the industry. You have to come off with the pen or just a cappella, and you have to fight for your spot. That's how it was back in the day. Very different from now. You definitely have to fight for your spot and prove that I'm meant to be here and I'm about it. I'm as hard as y'all dudes. And, since we're talking about female rappers here, we have to go out of our way to prove that we deserve to be here as y'all too. You know what I mean? Y'all not the only one that can rap and go off with the mic like us. So that's what I love about these two women. Okay. And with Swiss Beats and Eve, it's more of an East Coast duo. You know what I mean? Eve is from Philly, as we know, and Swiss Beats is from New York. And this is a family affair situation. You know what I mean? Of course, alongside with Swiss uncles and aunt being the founders and the CEOs of Rough Riders. So this is a whole family junction here. You know what I mean? And of course, Eve represents Philly, and you know what I mean, in her music, especially her first album. Like, she made sure that Philly is represented, and that's what you got to do. You got to represent what you're from, man. You can't forget where you're from. And Eve touched on topics with that us women go through, like her single "Love Is Blind." She talked about, a woman going through an abusive relationship, and that song really touched a lot of females in a way to where it's like, man, like, this is memorable. This helped me get through this time. This really showed me light. You know what I mean? So it's very, like, Eve have her, of course, she have her memorable moments in hip hop and her music. And those are one of those songs to where it hit us in a different way. Again, women empowerment. Okay. Next, Jermaine Dupri and the Brat. Now, this is a Midwest meets the South thing, because we all know that the Brat's from the Chi, you know what I'm saying? And Jermaine Dupri is from the South, which is Atlanta, okay? And they mostly do party-themed music, you know what I mean? The Brat, she talks about having fun, you know what I mean? Just having a good old time, you know what I mean? Smoking, you know what I mean? Just having a good time, like a very vibey, lyrical music, you know what I mean? And the Brat, she come off with the pen, and I just like the way she just emphasized her words, her enunciation, and all that, you know what I mean? And of course, Jermaine Dupri owns So Def. He's the CEO of So Def. We said that in the previous episode. He is the owner. He runs it, so it's a little bit different there. However, the Brat and Jermaine Dupri consider each other as brother and sister, as family. So again, that's that family dynamic there. And and of course, the Brat represents Chicago in her music. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this duo has a lot of similarities, yet is very, very, very different. Personally, I have to say, I love both of these women. I love both of these women, and one thing that I can say is that I'm glad that they exist, and I'm glad that they really like prove themselves. Like, I'm good at what I do, and this is what I do. I am good at it, and that's why I'm here, and I'm doing it. And they definitely, both of them definitely needs to be acknowledged, and it's definitely on the list, along with Queen Latifah, Roxanne Shante, MC Lyte, Little Kim, Foxy Brown, Angie Stone. I could go on, okay? Yes, I do know my history. Okay, I do my homework. But but yeah, again, shout out to both of these women. We definitely needed y'all music, whether it's the good times or bad times, it's definitely needed. And again, shout out to Swiss Beats and Jermaine Dupri for the most memorable beats ever think of. Okay. Now, I'm glad that, Swiss changed his life around to do music. And I'm glad that Jermaine Dupri stepped up to the plate and decided to run their own label, man, because I think music will be a little different if they wasn't here. So again, shout out to those four, okay? Now we finna get into the last segment, Returning to the Capsule. Okay, Returning to the Capsule, where we talk about albums and going back in time. Now, this is a 1996 edition. Okay, this was 2 years before I was born. However, I still listen to these projects. Okay, so yeah, so just to let y'all know. First, ladies first. Okay, Hardcore by Little Kim. Yes, indeed. Hardcore by Little Kim. Yes, all right. I'm old enough to talk about this. So, this was released in November 12th, 1996. Okay, singles from this album is No Time and Crush on You. And this was Little Kim's first album. Okay, first album. And this peaked number 3 on the U.S. top R&B and hip hop album charts from Billboard. And this is 2 times platinum. Okay, this was back into where it was physical sales. Okay, again, this is from 1996, so this is pure sales time. All right, way before the streaming time. Now I gotta say, okay, this is one of my favorite albums by Lil Kim, still to this day. Okay. All right, this is my favorite album till this day. Okay, Lil Kim broke down barriers and really did a lot of extraordinary things in this album, in the promotion of it. Y'all know which poster I'm talking about. Okay, she is the first lady in this industry to do that. Okay, and she's one of the first. And you know, she definitely like went out, in my opinion, out of her comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? In a sense of like, you know, like with the poster and stuff like that, but really trying to prove a point like, yeah, like, listen, y'all say y'all do this and that in y'all songs and stuff like that. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing because this is how I really feel. Now, of course, this is a raunchy album. Okay, I don't know if parental advisory, that tag should have been on there. I felt like rated X should be the thing on there, the tag, because this is a very raunchy album. Okay, if you're not 18 and up, don't play this album around kids. Personally, the last song on this album, FU, is my favorite. It's my favorite song on the album. And on top of that, Notorious B.I.G., he co-produced that track, which I find very interesting. But that's my favorite track off there. Mafia Land, that's my favorite track on there. And let me see. Of course, I like No Time and Spin a Little Dough. That's yes, that is my favorite. Okay, and you know, again, Lil Kim is one of the queens of hip hop. Okay, she definitely did her thing. That album is still memorable till this day. Okay, and that definitely cemented her name in hip hop. So again, shout out to Lil Kim. Second, we're gonna go to Bow Down by West Side Connection. I almost said West Coast. West Side Connection. Okay. Released on October 22nd, 1996. Singles from this album is Bow Down and Gangsters Make the World Go Round. And this is a debut album from the whole group. Okay, and it peaked number 1 on the U.S. top R&B and hip hop albums chart from Billboard, and this is certified platinum. Now, y'all know, my favorite song is "Woo Woo." Hey, what? Hey, yes, yeah. The gangster, the killer, and the dope dude. That song is on this album. Okay, that's my song, and that's the song that's played on the radio. My mom put me on to that song. My mom put me on to that song. Okay, but yeah, that's my favorite song off that track. And yeah, man, it's just very memorable. Very memorable album here. 1996 was a year of hip hop, you know, good and bad. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that is a good album. Now, last but not least, I'm gonna really get into it because this is my favorite project. Okay, the Don Illuminati by the 7 Day Theory by Machiavelli. Okay, we all know it's Tupac. So this was released on November 5th, 1996, couple of months after his death. So this is the first album that is released under Pac's name. Well, the alias of Machiavelli, but he released, like, it's released under his name after his death. That's basically what I'm saying. So the singles from this album is Toss It Up, To Live and Die in LA, and Hail Mary. And this is his fifth album. This is his fifth album that he made, and it peaked #1 U.S. top R&B and hip hop album, and in U.S. Billboard. And this peaked 4 times platinum. Okay. This is one of my favorite Pac projects to this day. Now, this project is deemed to be Pac's darkest album till date. Okay, this is as dark as it can get. Okay, now there was a lot of direct disses on this album. Like, this album, I swear, shook the whole world still to this day. And he predicted a lot of things on this album. Like, Against All Odds, he predicted a lot. Like, a lot of stuff that he said on that track came to life strangely. Okay. And my favorite song from that album is Blasphemy, Hail Mary, of course, and Against All Odds. Like, it was a dark album from Pac. Okay, it doesn't get as dark as this, talking about war and all this stuff, right? I don't know if kids should listen to this album. Oh, and also me and my girlfriend, that's my song right there. So, yeah, but again, this is a dark album, but it's one of my favorites. It definitely makes me want to get in the booth and write and go crazy on them. But but yeah, so again, rest in peace, Pac, man. Shout out to West Side Connection and shout out to Little Kim. So what is your take on this episode? So, you remember Swagger Like Us and 6 foot, 7 foot. You remember those times. And what's your favorite project from Master P? What are your favorite gems from him? What do you take from him? What did he inspire you to do? And also, how you feel about Megan Thee Stallion's Popeye deal? You willing to try out the sauce, you know what I mean? Or get some merchandise items from her. And, what's your favorite Eve and Swiss collaboration song? And what's your favorite Da Brat and Jermaine Dupri, the song? Their favorite song, their collaboration, their production. And what's your favorite song on Hardcore? You know what I'm saying? What's your favorite song on Bow Down? And what's your favorite song on the Don Illuminati? And I hope y'all guys enjoy this episode, man. I hope I teach y'all something. I hope y'all enjoy it. I hope y'all just chill and just like the content. And again, this is Music Link with Kimmie Diamond. Content brought to you by Music Arena. And have a good day and stay positive and stay up and keep it rap-tabulous. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, bye. Hello, you guys. This is Kimmie Diamond, and welcome to Music Link with Kimmie Diamond, yours truly. Content brought to you by Music Arena. Okay, now coming at you with the first step. Done for, by myself. So this is gonna be a great episode. I cannot wait to dig in. So have y'all popcorn, beverages, anything that you want ready. And so we finna get into it. Now we're going to start with Bar Time. Bar Time is a segment of the show where we talk about singles that was recently released by artists. You know what I mean? Sometimes we do a throwback edition, but we are finna get into the bars that these artists says that we deem to be cool. And we finna start with In My Feelings by Joel Ortiz. Okay, and this is the first single that he put out off of his new album called The Autograph. I'm sorry, about to say autobiography. All right, so yeah, Joel Ortiz. All right, one of the OGs. Okay, so we finna start off with I put up numbers when I hold this mic, but I see I came up in the era where Hov was Mike. Now, I love this bar here because back then, especially around the time when Joel came out, because he been in the rap scene for a long time. Jay-Z was like Michael Jordan. Okay, so you know what I mean? So that's what this references was. And just simply saying how Hov was the man. He did not miss, was on his thing. He still don't miss, but this was around the time where Hov was like, Jay-Z was really hungry. You know what I mean? So that's what this references was, when putting up numbers. Of course, this is a basketball reference. And just saying how I've been on my game and I'm just really like hitting these threes. It's like shooting threes when I touch the mic. Okay. So that's what that bar was. And then the next bar, we have big rocks in my socks, all tied into small ziplocs. Fifth Glock on my hip and had them dancing before TikTok. Now, this bar right here, I love it. Okay. So, Big Rocks is a reference to, you know what I'm saying? I can't really say the word, but you get what I'm saying. That street stuff. So yeah, it's tiny ziplocs. The fifth Glock on my hip had them dancing like TikTok. This of course is a street reference. You know what I mean? Just a night in the streets, out there hustling, and you know what I mean. He got to make sure that he stay with it. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to break it down because I got to make sure this is PG-13, but. But yeah, big rocks in my sock side. So you know what I mean? Just out there hustling. This is a hustling bar, but I love to play on words with rocks, socks, locks, glock, you know what I mean, talk. And we all know that TikTok is a platform where we see all the latest dances from people and everything. So I love that play on words that he did there. Then next we have This Is How I Felt When the Ink Hit That Paper. Then minor league coaching advised me to leave the majors. So this is what I got from this. Okay. This is what I got from this. I got that, okay, the majors is not really doing what needed to be done here. And I felt like things are not going to be accomplished due to the fact that I am very restricted and things going by their time here. And of course, when it comes to like major labels, the obligation with the artist is not always 100%. So it's like, the it's not there, it's not there. The coaching, I'm trying to get to where I'm trying to go, and it just felt like you're not pushing me to get there. Things are held up and stuff like that, either from management, publishing or whatever in that world. When it comes to majors, there's always a holdup and, some type of holdup. So it's like, okay, I just might as well just back out from this. So that's what I got from that bar. So again, shout out to Joel Ortiz. I'll be looking out for this album, bruh. I will be looking out for this album. So you want to go ahead, check that out. I don't know if he will be doing visuals for this song, but hopefully he does. So the next song we got is The Last 2 Minutes by Method Man. Oh my gosh, Method Man. I'm like, Method Man, I know you ain't gonna fail me, bruh. I know you ain't gonna fail me. Okay. So the recent single that he released. So the first bar we have, this hook's to drop him. This uppercut is to lift him. I pop that. That's apparent. Now call his parents to pick him up. So I love this bar here. Okay. Now, of course, hooks and uppercut, he is referencing the boxing here. And Pop and parents. So I love what he did there. Pop him, now apparently his parents are picking him up. So this is all really a boxing type of reference bar here. So I love it. I definitely love it. It's amazing. And I like how he just like did it like that with the play on words there. Next, we have F that, period. Bed looked like a crime scene. Too many red eye flights. I need some Visine. Okay, so period, menstrual cycle. Okay, bed looked like a crime scene. It looked bloody. Hopefully, I can say that word. Bloody. Too many red eye flights. Okay, and I need some Visine. Like, give me the eye drop so it don't look like I was. So. So yeah, I love that bar that Method Man did there. Okay, and this was the second verse. Again, I already knew that Method Man wasn't gonna fail me. Next, you have you paid the cost, but don't even know what the price mean. Go harder for the limelight. Don't even know if the light green. Now, this is what I got from this bar right here. A lot of people, they just looking at the price, but doesn't understood value. There's a difference between price and value in some reason. I know it might not seem that way. I know it's kind of hard. It's a thin line between price and value here. So, that term where, hey, you get what you pay for. A lot of people don't know that because they just go head first and just trying to pay for it. And then go harder for the limelight, don't even know what light's green. A lot of people would do things to go viral and to be famous and stuff like that, and it's not even their turn yet. So that's what I got from that bar right there, and I love it because I'm like, well, Sue, you were OG and it needed to be said, Method Man. So again, shout out to Method Man. You know what I mean? Visuals for this single has not been released yet. It will be a cold visual due to the bar that I read. So I definitely will, will stay in tune. Hopefully he will release visuals for that. So shout out to Joel Ortiz and shout out to Method Man. And that will wrap up for bar time. Next, we have Flowers. Flowers is a segment of the show where we are giving either artists, producers, anybody who contribute to the rap culture their flowers so that their work is not unappreciated or underappreciated. Oh man, we got the QUEEN Latifah for the flowers, baby. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. Yes. One of the pioneers. Okay, so of course we know she's from New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Jersey. You know what I mean? And she started beatboxing for the group called Ladies Fresh. Okay, this was when around the beginning stages, and she was an original member of Flavor Unit. Ain't crazy because I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later. Kind of foreshadow what I'm gonna get into here. Okay, if you know, you know. But she released her first album called All Hail the Queen back in 1989. Now, the singles from this album is Ladies First, Wrath of My Madness, Coming to My House, Mama Gave Birth to the Soul Children. Now, Ladies First was like the biggest memorable hit for Queen Latifah, and the song is featuring with Moni Love. Okay, now Queen Latifah started off with her music was basically just a women empowerment, saying to the women that you are worth way more than the standards that this whole society is putting on you. You know what I mean? You are valuable. And that was really what Queen Latifah was pushing. That was like her standard in the music. And Wrath of My Madness, that song is so legendary that it was flipped by artists and stuff like that. So yeah, it peaked number six on US top R&B and hip hop album charts on Billboard. And and then we have the third album called The Black Rain. Now, this was her most memorable and successful album to date. And it was released on November 16, 1993, with the singles of UNITY, and Just Another Day, Black Hand Side, Weekend, Love, Rough, and I Can't Understand. So, this album right here, till this day, you hear UNITY in radios, you know what I mean? And it was a big hit, and it definitely was needed. And if you know the song, you know the song, but the song is basically about, hey, don't call me out of my name. I'm worth more than that, you know what I mean? It was talking about, abusive relationships and, just being disrespected. And it's just like, you don't have to you can't disrespect me like that. And it was certified gold, and it peaked number 15 on the U.S. top R&B and hip hop albums. Okay, and so again, this was her biggest album today, and that was her third album. And then after that, she got into acting, of course, in TV and film. Living Single, one of my favorite TV shows to date. Then, of course, set it off her biggest performance that she was snubbed for. Okay. All right. That was Grammy worthy. All the awards you can think of was worthy. Okay. And, Last Holiday, my favorite movie. And, and Beauty Shop. She was even in Barbershop too. Yeah, and she became successful in the television and film. And then after rapping, she got into singing because she has a 2-octave voice to where she can rap and sing, and she have a lovely voice in both categories. And she co-produced the 2007 film The Perfect Holiday. And her music really resonated around hip hop, jazz, gospel, with R&B, soul, and dance components. Okay, so Queen Latifah, when we're gonna get personal, Queen Latifah is like one of my favorite female artists out there. Okay, she's the reason why I call myself the Queen personally. Okay, and she is the reason why I have high standards and how I just really just see myself as worthy and know my self-worth. She is the reason why, and she is the epitome of that you are worth more, have self-love, all that. She promoted all that through her music. You never catch Queen Latifah watering herself down and just shortening her standards or whatever just to fit in or whatever. She's been the same ever since then, and I respect that. And and of course that's my favorite. She's my favorite. So again, shout out to Queen Latifah. Okay, so yeah, give her her flowers, man. Give her her flowers. Y'all better give her her flowers, okay? All right. All right, the next segment we're finna get into is biz after music. Okay, so this is where we talk about either endorsements, investments, anything that these rappers are into as of recently, and just acknowledge that, because you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You feel me? So we finna talk about NLM Gino. Okay. He just released a label called the Campaign Music. Okay, so he is destined. His desire is to bring better light into Chicago, and this label is really about artist development. That's his goal. Okay, he signed Kid Codeine in L.A. Lamart. Hopefully, I pronounced that word right. But he want to offer job opportunities for local artists and just teach different elements of the music business. So that's is his main goal there, and his attention, like I said, is to bring positive light to Chicago. This is a good idea, and this is a good deal, especially when when you're from a city where when you around destruction and chaos, you just want to go out your way to do something better, and just to change the atmosphere of your city. And I do admire that, and I definitely want to make sure that he's acknowledged. So that's why he's on this episode, because that is a very huge deal. Okay, so shout out to NLM Gina. Okay, keep doing your thing, and I really hope that this label and all of your and you achieve this. I really hope so. We got Master P next. We got Master P with Big Papa's Burgers. He thinking about opening up in Nashville. Yes. Big Papa's Burgers. He was thinking about it. And I said recently in the previous videos how Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee is like Master P's second home. So he was thinking about opening up a restaurant out there, which is cool. So, which is very cool. And this was opened back in 2019, and it was named after his grandfather. So this is a big family deal. And his signature meals is make them say burger, okay, okay, and Big Papa's Louisiana chicken and waffles. Okay, so that's the signature meals from this restaurant here. And again, shout out to Master P. We already know that when it comes to Master P, he would do anything for the community. He just put the weight on his shoulders for the community just to help them out. And of course, he's a pioneer. So again, shout out to Master P and LMG. Keep doing y'all thing here. Next, we're going to get into compare and contrast here. So this is a segment that we do here that either artists, producers, probably something different in the future here. And we just compare and contrast. They might be similar. They might deem to be similar. However, they are different. Okay. Boss and Yo-Yo. Okay. Where my West Side ladies at? Okay, Boss and Yo-Yo. Okay, so all right, so they both, grew up in LA. Okay, all right, yeah, you know what I'm saying. And they both contributing to West Coast gangster rap. Okay, they both was talking that gangster stuff here. All right, so let's get into Boss real quick. Now, Boss, she was born in Detroit. However, after graduating high school, she went to LA. And she was signed to Def Jam West. She was signed to Def Jam West. And she was discovered by associates of DJ Quick. Okay. And Born Gangsters was the album, her only album and her first album to date. However, it was memorable. Okay. There's some songs on there that is played in TV shows and all that, Drive By is my personal favorite song. I know that sounds crazy, but it's my personal favorite. Okay. And her music was extremely hardcore. Okay. Extremely hardcore. Like she was rapping in a tone and in the space where a lot of dudes like rapping, and she was one of the first ones to do it. It was like, man, one of the first ones. Okay. And she worked with Eric Sermon, James, Jam Master Jay. You know what I'm saying? So, she was really like working with the greats. Okay. And this was her first only album. All right. Next, gonna get into Yo-Yo. She was signed to East and West America. Well, East-West America, not East and West. I'm sorry. And she is the female protege of Ice Cube. Okay, so that was the deal. And her music promoted women empowerment, just really knocking down misogyny and sexism, in the world, especially hip hop. And she released 4 albums in her career, and she crossed over to acting. Now I know y'all remember her as Key Lolo and Martin. She was on New York Undercover and Moesha. Like she crossed over to that in the acting world, and she's very good at acting, And these two ladies right here, okay, when it comes to the West Coast music, especially as females, they are the first ones to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, I have to make sure that they are acknowledged, and we got to make sure that they are acknowledged because they was the first one to do it, especially out here in the West Side. You know what I'm saying? So, and they both came out in the 90s as well. All right. So, again, shout out to Boss, shout out to Yo-Yo. You know what I'm saying? Okay. West Side stand up. Next segment that we got It's returning to the capsule. This is a 2001 edition. Okay, 20 years. All right. All right, 20 years. Okay, so this segment, you just go dig into the albums, you know what I mean? Do some personal touches on it. Okay, first we got The Reason by Beanie Mac. Okay. All right, The Reason by Beanie. There you go. Okay, it was released on June 26, 2001. Okay. And the singles is Beanie Mac Beat. I move blocks it though. Just and think it's a game, okay? It peaked #1 on U.S. top R&B and hip hop albums, and it was his second album. Now, Get Down is personally my favorite song on the album. Okay, all right, produced by Just Blaze. Just Blaze went crazy on that song. Okay, with the scratches, the DJ scratches, and you know me, even some samples from songs where you know what I'm saying that was on the Rockefeller roster. You know, which I find that he did that very smooth and very cool. Like, oh my gosh, man. Like, yo, this was around, you know, Just Blaze prime. Well, this was around Rockefeller's prime period. But, you know, but Just Blaze, man, when it comes to that production, I tell you, we talked about Just Blaze as of recently. When it comes to Just Blaze and that music production, he does not play. It's always hot fire every time. Every single time. You know what I mean? Just Blaze did that. Okay. And and for this to be his second album, I mean, when it comes to Beanie Mac, he's definitely one of those pioneers. Came from an era when it comes to hip hop, man. You gotta come with it. And when it comes to Beanie Mac, he's a bully when it comes to the mic. He bullies the mic when it comes to bars, the flow, the delivery, man. Like, golly, man, this was around a good time. So shout out to Beanie Bag and The Reason. Okay, so again, man, if you like a 2000 baby or whatever, because you know you was 1 year old, you damn sure wasn't listening to no Beanie Bag. Listen to that if you're a real hip hop. If you're a real hip hop baby, go listen to that. And I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, dang, like you would think that Bean's talking to you. Okay, so that's the first one. And secondly, we have Broken Silence by Fox Boogie, Foxy Brown. Okay. So this is her third album, all right? It was released on July 17, 2001, 5 days after my birthday. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, the singles from this album is Oh Yeah, BK Anthem, and Candy. Okay, and it peaked #3 on U.S. top R&B and hip hop albums, and it was certified gold. Personally, from this album, I said this is when she got back to, like, you know what I mean, the Il Nana era, sort of, kind of, you know what I'm saying. But this was definitely like, in my opinion, the Il Nana Part 2. You know what I'm saying? And this was her third album. But yeah, besides Il Nana, this is like her second best album, of course. And personally, oh yeah, I like the touch of, you know, the Caribbean side, you know what I mean, because you know I'm Belizean, so you know, oh yeah, it definitely touched with my Caribbean roots. The BK album, BK Anthem was definitely a hard song there. Of course, she put it on for Brooklyn. You know what I mean? She's from Brooklyn, so she definitely put it on for Brooklyn one time, you know, with that song. And yeah, the video was hard. It was like doing, like, it had like a camcorder effect. It was hard, you know what I mean? So yeah, you know, shout out to Fox Brown. Next, we have Deuces and Trays, the old fashioned way by I don't know where. Do y'all like my? I don't know what accent is that. But other than that, yeah, it was released on July 31st, 2001. It's their second album, okay, and their last studio album. And Only one single was released from this album. The name I Love It, which is one of my favorite songs by them. Okay, now I know I'm gonna get to that in a second, but it peaked number one on U.S. top independent albums and number two on U.S. top R&B and hip hop albums, and number four on U.S. Billboard 200. It was certified platinum in the U.S. Okay, all of these RIAA certified is in the U.S. Okay. Yeah, I know what y'all saying. I know what y'all finna say. You look just like that dude. Yes, because that's my father. Okay. Hi, Dad. Yes. I know you're gonna say about time. Well, you know, I had to wait. I have to make sure everybody get theirs first. Anyway, but yeah, I love it. It's like one of my favorite songs. You know, it was the only song around that time. Again, this was 2001. I was 3 years old around the time. This was the only song by the East Siders that I was even able to hear and listen to. Okay, so yeah, this song was cool, especially the radio version. I can hear that. You know what I mean? Because they was talking about other stuff and I was 3 years old and I couldn't even hear that. But yeah, but when I got older, of course I could play it. So yeah, give them their coins. But so that is that for this show. Again, are y'all excited for Joel Ortiz's album coming out? You know, how do you feel about Method Man's recent single? You know, what's your favorite song by Queen Latifah and her favorite acting role by Latifah? Which one's your favorite? And also, you know what I mean? NLM Gino, you know what I mean? Like, you know, let me know your thoughts on that. Have you tried Big Papa's Burgers before by Master P? If you did, you know what I'm saying, comment, let us know. And then, you know, Boss and Yo-Yo, you know what I mean? Off of Born Gangsters, what's your favorite Boss song on there? And, you know, by Yo-Yo, what's your favorite acting role by Yo-Yo? What's your favorite song by Yo-Yo? And what's your favorite song off The Reason by, you know, Beanie Mac, by Beanie Siegel? Your favorite song by Broken Silence, off of Broken Silence by Foxy Brown, and what's your favorite song off of Deuces and Trace, the old fashioned way? And then yeah, so you know, let us know, you know, and that is it for Music Link with Kimmie Diamond. Content brought to you by Music Arena. Y'all have a good day. Okay, so I'm gonna see y'all the next one. Bye.